Well, it has changed a lot in terms of football on the pitch, but more than that, off the pitch, it made quite a drastic change since the NFL to I League to Super League. The footballing was like I was explaining you just now about a little bit more physical oriented football in India, but after that, of course, Dempo was very famous with that possessional football, and yeah, so the direct kind of football becoming kind of possessional football, and slowly that kind of modern football kind of tactical is started to come on the pitch. And I think that is one reason that, of course, I was the first Japanese to play in India. And after that, a lot of Japanese to come to India. It's because the football changed to a little bit more tactical, a little bit more modern type of football. So as everyone knows, in Asia, Japanese are really good with tactics and quick play and small touches and whatever it is. So I think it's quite suitable for Japanese players to play in India. And of course, after I League to ISL, it was a total picture. I mean, the picture of Indian football has changed from our side. Also, I think from the world started to acknowledge India has a culture of football. And today it's one of the biggest league in Asia, and I think world recognized league as well. So really hats off to everyone who involved for this development of Indian football. And I think it's taking time slowly, but it's definitely the effort is paying off. And I'm sure Indian football has a really bigger future. So yeah, quite a change though.
The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, very warm welcome to the VAR show. The show which talks about all the best major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to continue the theme of interviews, and we have former Indian national team player Mr. Arata Izumi with us. So without wasting much time, I would like to first thank Mr. Izumi for coming on the show. Thank you so much and welcome to the show. And I would like to begin by asking you, how are you and what are you doing these days?
Yeah, hello guys. Thank you for inviting me this. Yeah, it's going well. Just strange time, but I think we all are trying to cope up the new standard or new normal. So I think I'm just hoping that things are going to get back to normal as soon as possible. Yeah.
Definitely, when I was preparing questions for you, and for this interview, and I found that your journey has been quite unusual, coming from Japan to India to East Bengal. How has it been for you?
Yeah. I also think it's quite unique. Well, from where I should start talking about my journey, probably. I started my football career and professional career in Japan, J League team, and after that I shifted to Singapore. And that time, the Indian agent spoke to me regarding Indian football. Well, that time I had no clue about the Indian football, and probably it was not the right time for me to shift to India. So I went back to Japan, and after a few months spending time in Japan with Mitsubishi Mizushima, which is a third division club in Japan, same agent messaged me if I'm still interested in coming to India. Then I took a chance, and that's the start of my career in India with this thing.
Definitely, and you had played prior to coming to India in Japan and in other places, like you mentioned. How was the shift in culture in terms of football coming from Japan to India? And how different was the footballing style, and how did you have to cope?
So see, that part probably I was lucky in a sense. I had a 1 year experience playing in Singapore, so I could already anticipate that kind of football will be different, but the difference is not so much in a sense. I mean, it's end of the day, it's just a football. 22 players are running after one ball. That's the game of this game, the rule of this game. So just no much difference. So it wasn't so difficult for me to understand the kind of culture. But I must say that India was a little bit more physical. I mean, relying more on physical side that time. Now it's a totally different story. But that time was a little bit more physical side. So sometimes footballing skill is not so important, but as long as you can run, you are strong enough in front of the goal. Yeah, that was a little bit of a different compared to Japanese football. That's it.
Definitely, and like you have played in so many for different teams in India, like East Bengal, Kerala, many teams. And I'll put you in a difficult spot now. Like, where did you have the most fun? Yeah,
Okay, great. Yeah, so whichever the club I played for, I had a best time with my life. But particularly if I have to pick few clubs, I can't choose one, so probably I pick few. Of course, East Bengal, the biggest club in India, of course, with Mohun but the oldest and biggest club in the country, and it was an honor for me to wear that jersey. And the best part is still, I played for East Bengal only for 6 months, but still supporters are still talking about it and still, sometimes message me and all. So I feel that attachment from people about on this club is really, really something special. And the playing the derby, Kolkata derby was one of the best moments in my footballing career. Other hand, Pune City, I spent maximum time with them. I think 6 years. I think with them. They're one of the most professional clubs. I think they set the standard in India. I League that time. What is professional club is, and after that, of course, the FC came and Bangalore FC came, and a few more clubs came following the step of Pune FC. So I think I was lucky enough to be part of the kind of evolution, Indian football evolution with this club Pune FC. And one more. ISL is a really exciting league. So ATK, I had a best moment on my career in terms of performance, I believe. I think that's everyone said. And I had a lot of great teammates around me. To get around. You can name you can name plenty of them, but I think it was the best football that I played in my career. That was with ATK. And Pune City, difficult, but Kerala Brothers again, playing every time 60,000 people. And the supporters are really emotionally supporting players. Even like similar to East Bengal supporters, they are still in touch with me. And it was a really nice family feeling club, Kerala Brothers. I think these clubs are really close to my heart.
definitely. And another thing that I wanted to ask you, and probably I asked everyone who comes who has played in India, and it's like you said you played for East Bengal for only 6 months, but you have managed to play in the National League, I League, and the ISL. You have played in all
Yeah.
three different leagues. How has football
Yeah.
evolved from when you came and played in National League to the ISL?
Well, it has changed a lot in terms of football on the pitch, but more than that, off the pitch, it made quite a drastic change since the NFL to I League to Super League. The footballing was like I was explaining you just now about a little bit more physical oriented football in India, but after that, of course, Dempo was very famous with that possessional football. And so the direct kind of football becoming kind of positional football, and slowly that kind of modern football kind of tactical is started to come on the pitch. And I think that is one reason that, of course, I was the first Japanese to play in India, and after that, a lot of Japanese could come to India. It's because the football changed to a little bit more tactical, a little bit more modern type of football. So as everyone knows, in Asia, Japanese are really good with tactics and quick play and small touches and whatever it is. So I think it's quite suitable for Japanese player to play in India. And of course, after I league to ISL, it was a total picture. I mean, the picture of Indian football has changed from our side. Also, I think from the world started to acknowledge India has a culture of football. And today it's one of the biggest league in Asia, and I think world recognized league as well. So really, hats off to everyone who involved for this development of Indian football. And I think it's taking time slowly, but it's definitely the effort is paying off, and I'm sure Indian football has a biggest, really bigger future. So yeah, quite a change though.
Definitely, and there I can of course say a lot of things about the change, but one thing I think because we have come from Japan where everything is so professional because the league started long back and it got, I think when you played there it was more professional. How was the professionalism changed in India in comparison to the National League and the ISL?
Mm. I can't talk much about it, but definitely, okay, let's talk about the players. The players' mentality itself changed a lot. I mean, when I came in India 2007, to be honest, I mean, it wasn't professional environment, professional kind of mindset players were there. Not so many, not everyone, but not so many. But now experiencing experiencing playing with those big foreign players, and the good coaches are coming in from outside, and of course the Indian coaches also updating our knowledge. And I think we are inputting a lot of modern football information to players. So players also started to act in a sense, becomes more professional in mentally, and of course physically, technically, tactically. So yeah, that's quite a change since NFL, and even I League time also it was more like semi-professional kind. Yeah, of course, professional league it was, and it was fantastic league, and it is fantastic league. I shouldn't say it was. It's true. Yeah, yeah, but the ISL is a little bit another level, I must say.
Definitely, and you were called up for the national team in 2013. Like after you gained your citizenship in India, was it something that you thought it was possible when you came, or was it like a dream, or was it like a far-fetched thought?
Well, so when I came to India, I came as a PIO, person's Indian origin. That time there was a quota for one club each, one PIO player. After that, the rule was chucked, so I played as a foreigner for 1.5 seasons, I think. But since I came to India, there was always talk was there that can he play for the country as a PIO? And no one knew, and I didn't take much initiative about it. But I think 2011, right? So one day my agent, Nigel, he spoke me about seriously thinking about changing the citizenship and playing for country. Then actually I started to think about it. Yeah, I mean, if there's an opportunity to, and if there's a chance to play for the country, especially country who holds 1.3 billion population, if there's a slightest chance, then definitely I was very much clear about the idea, and I should be just going for this honor. And yeah, process took time, but finally I could change my citizenship, and I'm telling you, I can't thank enough to country India to accept me as an Indian. Although, look, I mean, paper-wise, I became Indian, but I didn't grow up. I didn't live my life in India, but the people in India accepted me immediately. And national team coach that time wouldn't call for him. He also nice enough to call me. I think it was kind of a gamble for him. National team is a different kind of board game altogether, and the unity is most important. Of course, you are holding the country on your back, and this guy is not even Indian technically. Technically, I'm Indian, but origin-wise, I'm not Indian. Bringing into the team could be a kind of spice. Same other way, it could be a bomb to the team. But yeah, the team also accepted me very well, thanks to Chatri. He's a captain even today. He's a captain, so hats off to that kid and all other Mangi and all Clifford, all these Indian national team legends. Yeah, it was a most honorable moment in my life to wear that blue jersey and play for the India.
Definitely, and moving ahead, you have played, like you said, in so many teams in India and also outside India, and you have played under many coaches. Which coach, if you have one coach which is the most influential in shaping your career, who would that be?
Hmm. Influential. This is an interesting question. Mm, Shaping up my career. Okay, I don't think there's any one coach shaping up my career but myself. But definitely some part of it was, yeah, but difficult to say. But yeah, mainly, once you become professional, it's really about if you can get along with that coach or not, basically. Yeah, so I can't compare this coach, that coach, this coach, that coach. But probably I had a best time, like I was talking about the ATK time. I think with Habas, coach Habas. I think his football and my type of my kind of game was really matching. And of course, other players are there. But so I think he I had a really good moment with him. And yeah, I think he gave me quite a confidence as well. Probably that's all I can say.
Definitely, and as a player, you always do not have always everything rosy. Like your career, you have ups and downs, and you would have when you have downs, you have a lot of criticism coming through. As a player, how do you cope with that criticism? How did you cope with the criticism that was laid on you?
Well, my case was for me. I mean, that's part of life, and I was always anticipating that my career won't go this way. Of course, there will be up and down, like a 90 minutes game. Your team never play, always here, like always up and down, up and down. Sometimes score the goal, sometimes concede the goal, sometimes lose the game, win the game. So I wasn't so bothered by people talking bad about me. I mean, it's their opinion. It's not my opinion. I know what I'm doing, and I know I'm giving my 100%. So you say whatever you want, but you see, if you win, you become nice to me. That's how it is. We are being a professional football player. We are not the human being, or kind of. Almost it's like a product. Like people are putting the money on you and buying you to your club. So I think somewhere we become kind of machine, kind of a strong, really iron kind of mentality we have. Otherwise, every time if you are happy and sad about what's going on around you, then your focus will definitely go away from what you're supposed to do. So I think most of the professionals will say similar things like what I'm saying. I think.
Definitely, and I've heard the similar from many of them. And as a player, like many players have superstitions or they have some routine they follow before games. Did you have any particular
Mm.
routine that you follow, or maybe something?
Not particularly, but this is not that great example from my side. But I used to drink cup of black coffee every before just before the game starts, which is not so great. Caffeine can dry you out, and scientifically probably not recommended way to do that. But for me, I love coffee. I'm a super coffee person, so having coffee gives me really like focus and calming down my excitement or whatever it is, or nervous or whatever it is. So that's definitely. So I used to carry my coffee kit every time wherever I go. That was kind of a routine though I had.
Definitely, and you have now moved into coaching after your playing career. Was it something you always thought of, or was it something spontaneous?
No, I always planned for this. So my first license in Japan, it was Japanese D license. I took it when I was 19 years old, and I always wanted to be a coach after my playing career. I never expect my playing career becomes this long, but luckily it was what 14, 15 years, and that time I had enough time for me to just keep continuing taking the license, higher license, so I could finish my AFCA license before I finish my career. So yeah, I was always planning, and I was always interested in coaching after my career.
And like you said, like you're always interested in coaching, and of course you will have some idea about how you want your team to play when you coach them. What is your football philosophy like?
Mm, there's not much philosophy to me as of now, I must say, because I'm just started as a coach, and at this moment I coach under 13, and then now last season under 17, and the coming season under 17. So at this moment, I'm a development coach, youth coach. And for youth, my philosophy does not matter how I want them to play. I want them to find a solution, and I want them to find a problem and solve it with their idea. Of course, I have certain way to train them for them to get ready to become professional football player 17, 18. So the next step for them is a professional. So I can give a lot of information about that. But in terms of how football it should be, it's more like their own style. I recommend that to my boys usually.
Definitely, and I'll get back to your playing career, okay? And it's like I asked many of them this question, not everyone, but you have played in some of the most hostile grounds in India. Which ground has been the most intimidating for you?
Mm, That's another good question, though. Intimidating. Yeah, but the biggest shock was, I think, intimidating in a sense, like which stadium when I'm playing, I felt some kind of yeah. So yeah, probably the derby game. I think that was really shocking. Literally, see, we are what is it? This is a camera, so I can't. Well, for example, if I'm standing next to you, maybe 2 meter away, let's talk about social distancing. 2 meter away, literally, I could not hear anything. I have to shout to, let you, tell you something, to understand what you were saying. That kind of noise was going on with that, what do you call crackers and smoke. And I think that day, I think 80, 90,000 it was, not 120, not full park, but still I could see only people. That was like quite a shock, quite a yeah, pressure, fear, like a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion was mixed up, and it came like boom. Yeah, I think that is a yeah, yeah. I think that stadium is really something special, I must say.
So like, do you still get hate from Mohun Bagan fans?
I don't think Humbagan supporters hate me. I still remember one day. I see. I didn't know much about it, but I think if I look back to it, I was so stupid. One day I was watching which game I forgot, but I think Bagan was playing at the Salt Lake, and Bagan supporters came and he asked me my signature on Bagan's jersey, and without thinking, I signed it. And like if I look back to it, I should have done that, but yeah. You see, I don't know how supporters think, but Bagan is a great club and, of course, one of the best club in the country. From this season going to ISL, so congratulations to Bagan. Hopefully, East Bengal also can come up as well one day, I guess. But yeah, I don't think they hate me. I hope they don't hate me.
Hopefully now they'll not hate you because your previous club ATK and Mohun Bagan are together.
Oh yeah, has to be. Yeah, for sure.
So like moving forward with that, like I'm coming to the end, and like you've had many highs in your career, you said, and if you had to choose one moment which is the most proudest for you in your career, which one would that be?
Definitely when I played the first game for India against Palestine, that was the most honorable moment in my career as well as in my life. Yeah, as I said, I can't thank enough for that to happen. And yeah, it was a very, very emotional moment for me. I can talk to my daughter forever.
So like I just wanted to ask you, like, were you nervous when you were making your debut for India?
Yeah, so this is another story. See, I try to prepare myself mentally. Of course, I knew that I'm going to play that game, so I was preparing myself as usual. And this is one of the just a game. I mean, as being a professional, you are just going on the pitch as a professional football player. No matter whatever the circumstances, my stance is same, having coffee and let's go. That's my preparation, and I believe that I'm acting usual Arata, but looking at the camera, I mean, after the game, I watched the game, and my friends, a lot of them told me that my face was half crying when I stand the sideline. So probably the emotion actually overtook my control that moment. Probably it was just too overwhelming for me to be there. So yeah, that was quite a fresh experience for me. I think that was the first and last time that I became that emotional just before play a game.
Definitely, and like you have had experience in multiple leagues and also national level. So if you had to give an advice to a young player, what advice would you give that player?
Hmm. What advice I can give? Just what in terms of what the advice in a sense.
Just generally, you are even a youth coach now, so you can even give more advice like how to develop or whatever. I don't know, something that
See,
you would want to
development.
say.
See, when you are with the academy, the development, the kind of responsibility of your development, the player's development, maybe some part goes to coaches. Yeah. So yeah, you can rely on coach. But if you become professional, I don't know, maybe you are 17, maybe you are 18, but once you put the pen on the paper contract and calling yourself professional football player, then the development, the responsibility, entire responsibility becomes on you. It's not club, it's not coach. So my advice for young players is do not focus on on other things, but your development. I mean to say, sometimes coach may use you, may not use you, you may not like the training session of what of the team, but it does not matter. Yeah, from every experience you can gain something for your development, and that is the task for you to look for how he can develop, he or she can develop further development for their further development. So my advice is just focus on yourself and be responsible of your development and keep developing yourself. And I'm sure 2 3 years down you will see different you compared to 2 3 years before that when you just become professional player. So good luck.
Definitely, and on that note, I'll ask you one final question. And this is a very controversial one. And if you had to choose one of these two, whom would you choose, Ronaldo or Messi?
Oh, this has to come. Still has to come. But come on, yeah. Looking at the Champions League, I think De Bruyne has to get the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, no? So my answer will be De Bruyne. Okay.
Definitely, and like on that note, I will end the interview. And so, Arata, thank you so much for talking to me, and I wish you all the best with your coaching career. You are with the youth coach. Hope you go on to coach senior team and have a lot of success with them, and hopefully win all possible trophies available to you. And hope we can talk in soon. Thank you once again for coming. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.
Thanks.